Record. Okay, we're back at it again for interview number two. OC Toronto. OC, what is the motivation behind the music?
Hi, Jamie. Well, thank you so much for being here. And of course, as everybody knows, my name is OC. For the people that don't know me, I go by OC, and I am a hip hop R&B soul artist in Toronto. My background is an Afghan. And to your question, you said, what is the motivation behind my music? Okay, so the motivation behind my music is so specifically, I have my fifth mixtape coming out called Glow Up Still. And this mixtape has to do with my PTSD that occurred to me in 2013. And I recorded all of what happened to me using beats because I knew that if I had not recorded what happened to me, I would have got lost in the sauce and I probably would have went insane because of the PTSD that happened to me. So the motivation behind my music is to release my PTSD by basically it's like kind of like drop the rock. You know, you're dropping the PTSD, you're dropping in the CD, you're dropping the CD that has the PTSD, and hopefully it's going to help other people and they can resonate with that PTSD that they hear in this fifth mixtape that I have going on, which is called Glow Up Still. And so that's the motivation for Glow Up Still. And it took, so what I did basically is I was at a detox center, of course, and I sound engineered all the lyrics that I had that were sitting there with the beats. I just put it together. And then when I got out of the detox center, you know, I went to the studio at Achieve Dreams. Shout out to Achieve Dreams and shout out to Webb and shout out to Jordan Lynn. And yeah, I recorded the music there and it was so good. I was so proud of myself. And I am just in the process right now of getting it mixed and mastered with Century Sam. Um, and he's amazing. He's got credits with Snoop Dogg and like I think Wiz Khalifa um, um, and some other people as well. Like, right now, are just not coming to the top of my head. So that is the motivation to my music for this fifth mixtape, which is to help people with that can relate to the PTSD that I went through. And I want everybody to know as well that this is what 50 days sober looks like, you know, off of my DOC, right? So I'm very open about my sobriety on the internet. Some people say it's not the best thing to do. Some say it's some do it. So you know, it's up to the person. I'm really on the internet. So I am open about my sobriety on the internet, you know, and I'm 50 days and it feels amazing. I feel so good. Um, I truly can tell the difference, and I'm very grateful for you, and I'm grateful for just everything in life and just everything, you know. So yeah,
Congrats on 50 days. That's quite an accomplishment. Now, I
thank
know
you.
you personally, so you've got quite a story to tell. Let's take it back to as far as you want to go back, the early days of your career, your rap career. And, you were an aspiring artist, quite successful. You were at the top of your game creatively. And then I believe one of your mentors that you look up to, just to make a comment to you, so dismissive. And you were going through a rough time at that time due to your PTSD injuries. Um, Anything you'd like to divulge surrounding any of that? If you think that might be
Yeah, so
therapeutic or help you?
basically, you know, it's good that you said PTSD injuries because that's most likely, you know, what it succumbed to because I didn't look into getting medical attention for my PTSD, like trauma, therapy, counseling. I didn't go for all those things. And so I let it just linger. And so it carried forth with me for years and it disrupted my family household. And that is its own tangent. But, because I had cops involved numerous times at my house and just walls being smashed, like fights every day and night. And like I was just going through like cannabis induced psychosis that was trauma based, reliving the trauma that I had experienced in 2013. So that's that. But yeah, in regards to this injury that happened to me, yes, like this injury did happen to me. And when it happened to me, it was in 2017, December 2017. And it changed the course of my life. I got injured at work and it was awful. Like it's been 7 years now, and I'm so grateful that it's healing, but I have to live with this for the rest of my life. And a lot of people on the internet would be like, oh, like you're slow, like there's something wrong with you. And I would always take those things to heart because I'd be like, well, gosh darn, I'm sure if you guys really knew what was going on behind the scenes, you wouldn't, be saying all these things or whatever the case may be, because what happened was I had an ergonomic injury at work, I guess. I was a music programmer at a company called PC Music, which now is called RX Music. And Master T worked there. Master T was the last person to interview Tupac. And then Tupac passed away 11 days after. So, like, even working with someone like Master T was like the biggest deal. And I realized, like, after meeting these people that have names that, like it's really not what it's cut out to be. Like there, it's not the same at all, and I just I had to do with my thinking too. I really had a lot of stinking thinking. I had a bad attitude. I wasn't ready for the corporate world, and the corporate world wasn't ready for me. And I was sitting at, this station where I had two monitors in front of me, having to listen to music as a music programmer. Mind you, they demoted me from an accounts receivable clerk to music programming because they knew that I was a rapper at the time, right? And so they were like, oh, we think this is a great idea for you to become a music programmer. And I never had the guts to stand up for myself. It's still something I struggle with till this day, to stand up for myself and speak up for myself. Hence why I'm a rapper and I make music, because for me, speaking up about things is so difficult. I freeze, right? And I write things down. I have to write, and that's how I keep track, and that's how I've been able to you know um basically record my life story in music. So yeah, I got injured at work and I literally didn't know
Wow,
what to do. I didn't know what to do.
because you're
um
so talented. So I would
I'm
imagine
so
with your
I
music,
know.
if you were a music programmer, that would have been, say, your time to shine. And somehow that was just like ripped out from underneath you. That
Well,
must have been awful.
as an accounts receivable clerk, I studied accounting in school. So for me, it was like, yes, I'm working with the financial director, the CEO, the senior accountant, me, and the clerk. So it's five of us, this group of five of us. I was happy. I was really happy getting my salary check. It was my first time getting a salary check, working at a call center, like a call center, not a call center, but like an office setting. But I
Hmm.
didn't know what the office setting it required, that you have to sit for 8 hours, and what that would do to my body and what it did to my body. Because I had the most beautiful back, Jamie, and my spine got injured from working there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to cry because it's so hard to deal with the fact that I couldn't get help after it for 2 years because I was in so much pain. So that's why people that know me on the internet, that know me at the time when I lived in Brampton, oh my God, this is getting so emotional for me. I have to like take a
That's
breather and like go take some
PTSD.
painkillers, take some
Yeah.
painkillers right now because the people that knew me from when I was living in Brampton, they like I would let people into the basement that I was living. I was living under this Punjabi family's house in the basement. And it was like I would just let anybody into the basement. I just didn't care. And I would contact people through different apps. I just didn't care about anything anymore. Like
Well,
I remember even
Punjabi music's lit, though, let's be
I know it
honest.
really is. And their people are amazing and they have so much spirituality. And that's the reason why I went to Brampton because I was like, I've had enough of the East End. Like, I thought it was just so black and white. It was like, where's the spirituality? Where is my people? It's not to be found. So I went to literally Brampton and I connected with so many people there. But anyway, yeah, so I there's a lot of people in Brampton that might be like, oh, OC used to bum off spliffs in Brampton because that's literally what I would do. I would literally just like use people in Brampton for weed or like for food or money because I had nothing going on for me. I literally just got fired. Now I have a ruptured disc on the back of my vertebrae. I have a ruptured disc. It was swollen like a mango. For anyone that was there that knows, you know? So me suffocating with this, dying, you know, in so much pain, going to hospitals and no one would just help me, you know? And now 7 years later, 7 years later, I'm finally getting like medication because I went to Michael Garron Detox Center, Michael Garron Hospital. And that's where I met a nurse there, Yash. I'll never forget him. I'm so grateful for him. Like, you know, he gave me the proper medication that I needed so I don't have to medicate myself with marijuana,
Yeah, it
you
sounds like
know?
your nerves are shot and bulging discs, so that's like liquid
Yeah.
filled and nerves, endings.
And the liquid
I
the
can't.
liquid the liquid the liquid comes out when it's like when you have a ruptured disc, that liquid can come out and it can
Oh,
never go back in, you know. So that's spinal fluid, you know.
oh my,
So for me it went from 6 millimeters in 2000. The bulge went from 6 millimeters in 2021 to 3 millimeters in 2023. And like it's I'm still healing. And eventually my pain doctor told me that eventually the disc will go back in its place. And you know, he's giving me a lot of procedures and stuff, and I'm taking a lot of medication for my nervous system as well. And you know, and like I didn't realize like how much like your nervous system and all these things impact it, you know? And it was just hard because my nervous system got so shot. And that's why like I literally took the phone and I fucking spazzed at Boy Wonder because he was fucking with my nervous system so much, you know? And that's why it's like a multiple things that caused this to happen to me. But it's like in front of two monitors, my head rotating like this, me as a music programmer listening to music at high BPMs, right? And not being able to stand up and move because they told me if I stand up, then I'm a distraction in the office. Like, what type of shit is that? They put me right in the middle of the office for everybody to see me. And it could have been my thinking, and on top of that, add my paranoia from the cannabis. So boom. Now all of a sudden, what happens to me? I'm like a fucking hunchback. I go from having the most beautiful back to an opportunity to having a fucking hunchback.
well, hey, we don't have to gaslight ourselves anymore. It is what it is, and it's a beautiful thing now. You can admit those deep emotions surrounding your PTSD because we no longer have to numb it. I'm also an addict, drug addict in recovery, and we never access those feelings. We never hit those natural range of emotions because I was always numbing myself with drugs. So it's a beautiful thing. You get to
Yeah,
express that
exactly. And
today.
even with Boy Wonder, it's like when I used to see him, all I would do to deal with like what was going on was just like smoke weed, smoke weed, smoke weed. Like I didn't know how to just be like normal. Like, how to, like, I don't know how different it would have been if I had just been clean and not have been an addict, because he didn't know I had PTSD from 2013. And when I met him, it was like I was 24, so it was 3 years later. It was 2016, yeah, maybe even a little earlier than that, but it was around that time, yeah. And so it's like, yeah, there was part there. I had my part when it came to him, and I can't change things from the past. But fast forward now, Drake contacting me, and on Christmas Eve 2024, because we're in 2025 right now. And that was like such a big deal. And that was like, oh my God, right? And yeah, I was in active use at this time. And I couldn't think straight. And I was on the internet, literally. I was living on my own at the time in Oshawa, and I was streaming live morning to night every day while I would work my job, because that was like the benefit of working my job that I have currently for the last 5 years, is that I was able to stream and do multiple things at the same time while I was working this job. So yeah, I did that. And he contacted me, and I started to message him and try to build a vibe with him. And he said something about like, oh, my tits are like melons. And he said how, like, do guys try me after the studio? So maybe he was implying that, like, because when the guys go to the studio, like there'll be 10, 15 mans going to the studio. So like obviously, like, he's asking me, like, do guys try you after the studio? And I took it the wrong way because of my thinking. And then when I asked him, like, he's like, what do you want to do? Like, what are you saying, right? Because he gave me his number. I was like, the first thing I brought up, like, right away, I was like, I want to do a song with you, because I didn't want to make the same mistake I made with Boy Wonder. With Boy Wonder, I wasn't straight up enough. I didn't have the courage or the guts to tell him, like, hey, look, I want to go to the studio with you. Like, I know I'm coming over 100 times, but I want to work on a song with you. And it just, because those lines got blurred, love and hip hop, it just got blurred. So here I am thinking, like, oh, I'm gonna marry this guy. I want to marry this guy so badly, like, fuck. But that's not how the cookie crumbled, especially when he asked me for a threesome. I was so heartbroken because of a PTSD that I experienced in 2013. I was like, this guy's just trying to fucking run me off, run me away, and he's trying to demonize me, because that's what people like to do. They like to just fucking demonize people. We're all guilty of it. At least I can speak for myself. Like, I get it. But anyway, if I go off on a tangent, just let me know, because I
Well,
do
it's
that a
like
lot.
with PTSD, with mine, I just remember looking to each person around me, and it's like telling my story, telling my story, telling the same story over and
So
over, and
over and over again.
my heart rate would go up, my breathing would be, I'd have trouble breathing. I was literally in a panic because I was thrown back there and I was seeking validation. And these are also other people in recovery. Like, can't you understand? Can't you understand my experience? And they're just like, whoa, Jamie, are you okay? And I'm like, I did trauma counseling for 2 years, but now people like you, my whole spirit team all around me, humans, but with a heart of just higher self, higher calling, this 3D realm of the earth, the pain, the physical pain that we have to suffer, it's like it brings us back. Oh yeah, I'm on planet Earth, but they can validate me, validate my experience. No, Jamie, I know exactly what you're talking about. I validate you. I validate your experience. You know, if I was your mother, if I was your brother, if I was your father, right, I would do these meditations like re dad, re mom. You're my little princess. That should have never, ever happened to you. I get those grandma hugs. They'd hug me so tight, lift my chin. Like in my dad meditations, he'd lift up my chin, wipe away my tears, and give me a big hug. Say, you're my little princess. No one will ever hurt you, ever, ever, ever again. I will protect you. I am your protector. So we get to do that in meditation. We get to do that with each other, in recovery. It's a community. And we get that deep, nurturing support, validation. Like validation for me was key. I just want someone to just get what I'm saying. I'm shouting from the rooftops, don't you see? Don't you see? And they're just like, whoa, dude, I don't know, man. I'm from Southern
Exactly.
California.
And that's why like I don't give up because I have like if you look in the back, that's an inversion table. If you look over here, I have like a neck something that like pulls the neck, to straighten it, and that's why I would do decompressing on the internet. And I told Drake, I was like, at day like 300, like we can play basketball together. And then he's like, oh, we don't gotta wait that long, or like something like that. I don't even know. Or like he's like, oh, it's because he's like, it's Christmas Eve, fam. Like we don't like you guys talking about basketball on Christmas Eve, and like had this injury not happened to me, it's like, how far I would have went because this injury does affect so much. Like it's your spine, it affects your thinking, your speaking, it's everything. And it's like your vertebrae. So
Do you know
anyway,
what number is the discs numbered in your neck? Do you know what number it is?
it's I think like 3, 4, 5, 6, one of those. It's like it's something like along there. It's the vertebrae. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so when I asked Drake after 3 months, I was messaging him like saying the stupidest shit, like because I was fucking using weed. Like I just wasn't thinking, and I would just message him, like trying to like friend him up and like talk to him because he said like we could build a vibe together. And I was like trying to build a vibe, being myself, like, an active use. And then I just like asked him, I was like, you sent me a 63K for my back. And it was rude of me. And when he read it, he immediately fucking blocked me because he was like, I'm assuming he was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this girl's fucking nuts. So, it's like he didn't know the severity of why I asked him for the fucking money. And it's not okay for me to have asked him for the money. And I'm sure a lot of people ask him for stuff. So he doesn't like that. And, I didn't know how to think ahead really. I just was hurting. I was really just hurting so much. And I was like, maybe if I just had some support, then I would heal faster.
Yeah, that money can go a long way. There's all types of new treatments, stem cell treatments, you know, even just that acupuncture you were doing. That's
And I'm still
all
doing
that
it, all
care
of it,
goes a
all
long way.
of
It's
it.
like that holistic approach. So you're
Yeah.
doing
And
great. You're
everything
doing
takes
amazing.
money. It all takes money. It takes money. It takes money. It takes money. But like I'm opening up about that and it feels so freeing. Like it does. It actually feels so good to like do this.
Wow. How brave of you. There might be some greater force at play here, you know? That's like,
Yeah.
oh, see, you're not gonna be in this pain and this suffering anymore. You have a real story to tell. You're courageous, and what's so attractive about you, your life, your music, your creativity is it's so positive. You shine with an inner glow and an inner light that's so contagious. Like, yeah, let's hop on video. Let's do this. Like, let's tap in,
Yeah.
this quantum source that
Yeah.
we've
Thank
got
you.
talking about the solution, healing. The healing starts here. The healing starts here.
I think so too. I think so too. And then I have a music video that I just shot for Sober is Sexy, my song off of the Obsession mixtape, and the third mixtape. And then the fourth mixtape, I have a music video coming out which I shot in the winter, but the director just like disappeared. But luckily, I had the content in my camera. I shot it in my camera, so I still had the content. So I sent it over to my original director, and he's gonna get it all edited. And it's like shots of me in the snow. And the song is called Marakushtan, which in Dari means they killed me.
Wow. And welcome to your
Yeah.
new life, we say.
Sorry.
And welcome to your new life, we say.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I think it's, yeah, we've got less than a minute. All right, everyone, thank you for sticking by. And